Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future anime and cartoon-related videos. So I know I'm kind of a week behind, so I'm going to give you episode 1 to 2 reviews, basically back-to-back. Episode 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen today, and then I'm probably going to upload episode 2 for you tomorrow as well. And we'll be all nice and caught up on that. So I was kind of looking through a couple different of the newer animes that were released to see what I wanted to watch, and this one seemed kind of interesting. I took a look at Chibi reviews, because I'll watch his once in a while too, see what series he's doing, kind of get some ideas. Same with For Neverworld. And let me tell you, I think this is a little bit of a secret gem. I definitely do think this is definitely a little bit of a secret gem. I wasn't really knowing what to suspect. I pretty much saw the cover art, thought it looked kind of cool. I didn't really want any spoilers, so I didn't really fully look into it. But basically, the gist behind this anime is that you have Itoria, and he basically swallows a cursed object at the end of the first episode, and there's like a 1 in a million chance that he would actually live and the cursed object would take over somebody's body, and it did. Normally, in most cases, it would actually kill people, but in this case it didn't. Takes over his body, but he has immense strength. That was kind of what we got from the beginning of the episode. It was basically him just kind of going to high school, hanging out with a couple of friends in kind of a spooky, like ghost detective club, I guess is the best way to describe that. And he basically just shows like uber strength. Like all these different, teams and clubs and coaches are trying to get him to be on their team. Track coach wants him. He's like, if you beat me at a competition, I'll leave you alone, and I'll accept the fact that you three are a club, because you have to have 3 members to be a club. But the track coach basically took his signature off of the Ghost Club, signed it onto the track club, which is really messed up for a teacher to do. But that is inevitably what this teacher did. So he had to go through a competition. He defeated him fairly easily because he is super OP by the look of it. They were doing the whole metal ball throwing thing. I don't even know what it's called. Somebody can tell me what it means. I'm not familiar with all of the track and field. I know there's pole vaulting, but it wasn't pole vaulting. I don't. Hurdles. Maybe. Is it hurdles? Maybe? I don't know. Let's move on. But basically, the reason he wants to get out at a reasonable time is because his grandfather is dying. We don't know the story of his parents. His grandfather wanted to tell him the story of his parents, but he didn't really want anything to do with it. He didn't really care. His parents probably left him, as they do many anime antagonists, unfortunately. And he basically just didn't care, and then his grandfather ended up dying in the episode. And then Fushigiri, if I'm saying his name correctly, will figure out the pronunciations at some point in time. He kind of shows up, and he was like, hey, you in your club, like, what did you do? You found a cursed object. You need to give me that cursed object. And he was like, what's a cursed object? And basically, cursed objects are scattered all throughout Japan. People go missing every single year, so this is set in Japan, as many anime are. And basically, the gist is these cursed objects are people's, like, emotions, anger, hate, love, lust, all of your different emotions are put into these different cursed objects, creating these demon-like creatures, which the Jujutsu shamans, which he is one of them, need to go out and basically capture, seal, reseal, and get rid of everything. Basically, the thought was that if they create a cursed object, it'll keep other cursed objects and other demons away. But as the seal gets weaker, more and more demons, other cursed objects, try to go consume that particular one, so that way they can become even more powerful, even stronger. And then Yuji, or Itaro, main character, he, as I said, consumed one at the end of the episode. It took over his body. And then we end the episode with Fujiguro saying, okay, now I have to kill you. But it's interesting, though, because I'm guessing he is going to be hunted now, from what I have seen in like the beginning of the episode. The beginning of the episode was really weird. He was kind of like chained up. All these seals were around him. He was wondering where he was. I'm guessing one of the Jujutsu shamans was one of the ones that captured him, but then we kind of get the backstory with his friends. Basically, his grandfather kind of gave him a curse in itself. It was basically, help your friends, help your loved ones, help anybody that needs to. You're very strong. And then he passed away before he could tell him the story of his parents, because his grandfather was like, look, I'm a miserable old person. Nobody wants to come be around me, And that was the reason why he didn't want to join the other clubs. It was basically he was in the occultist club because they got out at like 4:30 so he could go see his grandfather for a little bit of time before he had to go home, do his homework, standard school stuff. Age-wise, I'm not 100% sure. I'm on the wiki right now. We'll see if we can get an age of him. I'm guessing like he's a student, so he's probably, 16, 17. We don't get an exact age on him at this point in time. We get a birthday. I get a height and a birthday. He's like 5'11", 6 foot, somewhere around there height-wise. But we don't actually know his age, but he's school age. So pretty much all the characters in this show going to be probably around that 16, 17, 18 mark. So if you're wondering like kind of what the maturity level is, but as we know in anime, it's kind of all over the place because you can have a 16-year-old that looks like a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old that looks like they are 42. So it is definitely a weird one to see that. Moving on to the next episode, what I think is going to happen is it's basically going to start with a giant fight. I think they are going to go after him, try to capture Yuji, and basically kind of end him, kill him. Either that. What's probably going to end up happening is they are going to end up recruiting him. So they're going to realize that he can actually defeat cursed objects, which he did in the first episode. He defeated the one that was trying to kill his friends, which names I've already forgotten and we're probably rarely going to see. He said he only knew them for like 2 or 3 months. So he did, they're probably still going to be friends. He's probably still going to be part of the club, but then he's probably going to end up getting pulled to do something else. And 9 out of 10, we're never going to see those people again. That's my guess. But we'll definitely just have to wait and see how the whole thing plays out there and what goes on. But probably we're going to start with a giant fight scene, most likely. Big old fight scene. And then we'll probably get some storyline, and then maybe we'll get to the part where he gets captured. He's tied up, and then it'll kind of be like an episode 3 preview type deal. I did see already, Crunchyroll basically released like half of episode 3 already. They call it a preview, but it's like 9 minutes long. Your standard episode for this, I think, is like 22, 23 minutes because you factor in commercials as well. So usually the 30-minute runtime, but it's like a 22, 23-minute runtime of the actual show. So that is definitely interesting. I'm not going to look at that preview because I don't want to spoil episode 3 for next week. But looking forward to episode 2 at this point in time, and take a look at that review. It'll be out tomorrow at some point. I'm probably going to do it today anyway, but just have it scheduled for some point tomorrow because I don't feel like releasing 2 videos in one day. You got to spread them out a little bit. Also reviewing Yashime Princess Half Demon, so take a look at that as well. May or may not include a 3rd show on top of that. I've been looking for a cartoon to review for a while, but there's really nothing out right now that's like new. Maybe I'll just go after something, an old classic or something, throw Ed, Edd and Eddy or something in there. Some sort of random thing. Maybe, Steven Universe, possibly. I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. But mainly, it's just been the 3, Harley Quinn, Rick and Morty, and Final Space have been the 3 cartoons. But if I got to keep reviewing anime, I'm perfectly fine with that. I thoroughly enjoy doing it. This is entertainment for me as well. And I like doing it myself because then I can go back and look at my reviews and not have to watch an entire episode and get the general idea of what went down before going into another season. So my name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.